Today we'll be looking into the case of a Florida escort that stole another woman's husband, then proceeded to spend the next 6 months trying to sabotage and kill him. All that and the details of the nonsensical defense case for her release. Hey, it's Geneva and welcome to Mystery Digest, where every Sunday I cover true crime cases, paranormal cases, and other mystery-related content. How's everyone? Did y'all eat? Did y'all drink water? Stay hydrated. Get a snack because this case, oh, it's a lot. It is. It has to be my favorite so far. It has to be my favorite so far because this one I can actually laugh about what's going on. Today we'll be looking into the case of Dalia Dippolito. Maybe you've heard of her, maybe you haven't. Regardless, I'm going to tell you anyway. You're here, might as well. Dalia is an escort that quickly stole the heart of a married man, one Michael Dippolito, who hastily left his wife of 7 years to marry her. A grave mistake that took 6 months to come full circle. We'll be looking into what the couple was like, the planning and execution of the husband's demise, the flaw in her final plan to get rid of him, and the current laughingstock of her appeal. By all accounts, Dalia had a pretty normal childhood. She lived relatively comfortably. She had both her parents with her. And the only thing that really was out of place was the fact that she ran away in her later years because she found out that her parents were getting a divorce. But she wasn't away for long because as soon as she landed in New York, which was where she ran away to, they found her and sent her back home. Boynton Beach, Florida, October 2008. Michael Dippolito, ex-convict and entrepreneur, decided he wanted to entertain himself as his wife of 7 years was out of town. So he went onto an escorting website to get an escort for special services. Shortly after his request, an olive-skinned beauty showed up at his front door. In comes Dalia. It would be safe to say that something went well that day because just 2 weeks after their first meeting, he filed for divorce of his wife of 7 years. And shortly after, proposed to Dalia with a $20,000 ring. Spicy. So they met in October, and on February 2nd, 2009, they tied the knot. By all accounts, Dalia seemed to be the loving wife. She was always swooning over him, telling him how much she loved him. The whole works. They seemed to be very passionate, as Michael and Dalia were always engaged in PDA, reportedly making other people very uncomfortable. Just a month, 1 month, 30 days, just a month after they got married, some strange things started happening. Some things that, weren't happening before. On March 12th, an early Sunday morning, Michael got a surprise visit from his parole officer and 2 deputies. Remember when I said he was an ex-convict? Well, back in 2001, Michael was convicted for his involvement in a fraud operation where he robbed his investors of $200,000. He spent 7 months in prison and received 28 years probation. And this was the first time his parole officer was ever showing up unannounced. And it turns out he was responding to anonymous calls about Michael dealing drugs. Sus? Maybe. If drugs were found on Michael's property, he would be charged with 10 years behind bars. Luckily, none was found. The following weekend, Dalia decided she wanted to go on a spontaneous trip to Palm Beach. But the Sunday when they got back home, police were waiting for them. Again, this time responding to calls about Michael dealing drugs in his car. It was searched, nothing was found, and that was that. A week after the post-vacation car search, Michael and Dalia decided they were going on a romantic dinner. After dinner, when they were going back to their car, guess who was waiting for them? The police. Yet again. I wonder why. They were responding to anonymous calls again about Michael dealing drugs in his car. So they did a search, as they're supposed to. The car was thoroughly searched, as they did the last time, and a small bag of cocaine was found in a very strange place. Now at this point, Michael was having a complete breakdown, as most of us would be. He didn't want to go back to jail. He was denying everything, saying that this was a setup somehow, he wasn't selling drugs, and Dalia seemed suspiciously robotic in her responses, not seeming too fazed about her crying husband. Surprisingly, the police decided to drop the incident, apparently because the cocaine was hidden in a very strange place, and they suspected Dalia, his wife, of being the one who was making the calls. Dalia was a designated driver that night, as Michael was too shaken up to drive. The police weren't the only ones suspecting Dalia. Michael was thinking to himself, no one else knew where they were that night. No one else knows their schedule like she does, and no one else besides him has access to the car. So it must be her. So he asked point blank if she was the one making the anonymous calls. Huge mistake. Sis started speeding on the freeway. She was going 190, screaming at Michael about how incredibly offended she was that he would even consider her as the person who's making these anonymous calls. Out of fear for his safety, he apologized to her. Now, this woman just might be the CEO of gaslighting. Wow. Dalia, now knowing that she's being suspected, went in her little bag of manipulation tips and tricks and pulled out a fake pregnancy reveal. All of the borderline psychotic behaviors of the night before were quickly forgotten. Michael was so excited to hear that he was going to have a child. He immediately went on a baby shopping spree and started celebrating. Too bad it was for a child that did not exist. Dalia, now with less of a spying eye on her back, went on to her next objective, which was to get Michael to sign his condo over in her name. How she planned on doing this? Well, she had just the pawn to help her. One of Dalia's ex-lovers, Mike Stanley. Mike Stanley was someone Dalia was well acquainted with, and by acquainted with, I mean she continuously used him and then dumped him afterwards. But somehow she managed to reel him back in with one simple text. She got Mike to pose as a lawyer to call Michael and give him bogus legal advice, saying that in order for Michael to get off of probation early, he was to sign his condo over to Dalia, making her the sole legal owner. Surprisingly, somehow, he fell for it, which really doesn't make much sense. He could have gotten, this is his house. This is this man's condo. He could have gotten the advice of another lawyer. You know, a second opinion. It's his house. It's not like he didn't have the money to get a lawyer. It's none of my business. It's none of my business. So Dalia, now getting what she wanted, she did what she always did and dropped Mike like a sack of hot potatoes. Who didn't see this coming? Apparently he didn't. Dalia got in contact with another ex-lover, Mohammed Shihade. She asked Mohammed to hire a hitman because she wanted to kill her husband. But he didn't give her an answer right away. He said that he'd think about it. Oh, he thought about it. Thought his way to the police. He reported the phone call to the police station, as he should. In order to get definitive proof of what Mohammed was claiming, the police officers directed him to arrange another meeting with Dalia. He did just that. Dalia was caught on camera saying she wanted her husband dead, making a $3,000 down payment, handing over a photo of Michael and a photo of the house. Now, this was enough to make an arrest. However, the police wanted Dalia to dig her hole a little deeper. So, they got the help of an undercover cop to pose as the hitman. They planted a hidden camera in his car and got Mohammed to set a date for the both of them to meet. Here's a snippet of their conversation.
No, I got a picture. I looked at a picture of you.
I mean, I made it sound like the state, but like my understanding of everything was that like, you know, I was going to give you what I gave you, and then that was everything. Until after the fact. And then after the fact, I guess you were going to come and, like, find me or whatever. I mean, I'm good for it. Like, it's not like I don't have it or anything. I mean, I know not to fuck around with you. You know certain things, whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you obviously know where I'm at.
I could get it done by Wednesday if you want me to. Right. You understand? But I got to do my homework, you know? Right. I got to, know exactly where the place is and how to get out of there, how to get in and out. You understand what the neighbors want? I got to call the cops. Report a shooting to see how fast they get to that location. There's a lot of stuff I got to do. Okay. That's going to cost me a lot of money.
So if we go ahead and we do it, like, at the house, like, how soon could you do it? And
I could do it Wednesday morning. It's going to be like I break into the house, didn't think he was going to be home because everybody works in the daytime.
Right.
I'm going to think he's at work. Boom, he's not at work, then, he gets two in the head. That's it, I take a couple things with me, break a couple windows, make it look like a robbery that went bad, and it's all over. I'm gone out of there. We're just going to be asking you questions. I don't know how well you handle pressure. You understand? I don't know, because I don't want...
No, I'm not going to, I'm a lot tougher than what I look. I know you see and you're like, oh, what a cute little girl, whatever. But I'm not.
You are. You're extremely beautiful.
Thank you, but, I just need to make sure everything's going to take care of.
Between now and when it's done, you're not going to have an option to change your mind. Even if you change your mind, talking to him.
There's no changing. No, there's no, like, I'm determined already. I'm positive, like, 5,000% sure, like.
Okay. All right.
Okay? All right. Thank you so much, and I guess.
You'll hear from me.
I'll hear from you.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye.
5,000% sure. All I have to say is this woman is... That's it, tweet. That's all I have to say, because this woman is... Oh, wow. Even after the police got that footage, the police decided, no, we're going to deepen the plot. And that's what they did. They set up a fake crime scene outside Dalia's house. There were news cameras, crime scene tape, police officers, police cars, the whole works. And she put on the show for this. Here's the clip.
I'm Sergeant Ramsey. I'm the one that called you. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry to call you. Listen, we had a report of a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired. Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, ma'am. He's been killed. He's been killed, ma'am. I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
Listen.
No.
Try to calm down.
No.
Listen, right now we need to get you to the station. We need to get you to our police station. I can't let you see him, man. We have to do our job. If you want us to find his killer, okay, we need you to calm down. I'm going to need you to go with these detectives, okay? Does he have enemies? Is there anyone that would want to hurt him? Okay, who would want to hurt him? Witnesses said they saw a black male running from you. I can't let you see him, ma'am. Ma'am, I cannot do this right now. Ma'am, I can't do it. Detective Yopi, I need you to take her to the station. I can't. Ma'am, go with these detectives. If you want to help your husband, okay? If you want to help your husband, you need to go to the station with these gentlemen and tell us everything you know about who he knows, who he's connected to. Don't worry, we've already taken care of your dogs with animal control for right now. Everything's under control. And we'll take care of everything else, okay? Thank you, guys.
Did y'all see her? Sis put down a performance. She was shaking and crying. Scarlett Johansson, who? Zendaya, where? She is the star of the show. This is, like, I'm joking and I'm laughing, but this is actually terrifying. That people are able to just do this and just, like, no remorse. There's, like, no evidence of remorse. She just went right through with it. Dalia was brought in for questioning and she continued her little theatrics. So did the investigators. They were both like killing their roles. She was playing the distraught wife, and the investigators treated her as such, all to get her deeper into the hole she's long begun digging herself. When she was asked who would want to harm her husband, she had a whole list prepared. Say what you want about this lady. Say what you want. But she came prepared. Evil, but prepared. The undercover cop that they got to pose as the hitman was brought in. He also was still playing his role. And he said he didn't recognize her from anywhere. And Dalia, playing along, said the same. After the undercover cop left the room, the bomb was dropped that she was under arrest. Sis slipped into manipulation mode. She started blatantly lying about even having the slightest idea what they were talking about, even after they presented their evidence. She even requested to see her husband, and they allow her, and she denies everything to his face. Every single thing. And when another set of detectives came in to get a confession, she held strong. She was still denying everything. Her manipulation skills, unmatched. You're gonna see this especially in the phone call she made to Michael, pleading with him to get her a lawyer. Stick around to the end of this video so you can see it. Dalia went to trial for the first time in 2011. Her defense was that this was her and Michael's attempt at a scripted set in hopes of getting them a reality TV series. Yeah. Even with all the evidence they have stacked against her, she was still refusing to accept the reality of the situation that she was in. That she was wrong. What she did was really bad. She still thought she could manipulate and lie her way out of this, which is the funniest thing to me. She was found guilty of solicitation to commit first-degree murder. The judge, who called her murder for hire plot, pure evil, sentenced her to 20 years in prison. 3 years later, Dalia's conviction was thrown out after an appeal. And for the second trial, the defense changed their angle, this time blaming the police. She and her defense team tried to sell the narrative that the police were the one trying to get a reality TV show. According to them, the police wanted to get aired on a reality true crime TV show called Cops, in which they did succeed to get an episode out of it. In 2017, the jury returned a verdict in just 90 minutes. Dalia was again convicted of solicitation to commit first-degree murder, and she was sentenced to 16 years in prison. What do you guys think about Dalia? I'm sure she's a beautiful character that's stuck in your mind. What do you guys think about her? Like, do you think 20 years? I mean, granted, it is solicitation and not actual murder, but 20? What do you guys think? And what do you guys think about the husband's character? I'll see you next Sunday. And remember, guys, don't murder people. Or don't try. Please don't. It's mean. It's that simple. And as promised, the call.
Hello?
Hey, it's me.
Yeah, what's up?
Nothing, Mike. Can you please come here?
Hey, listen, I don't want to fight with you. Honestly, I can't help you. Don't you understand what just happened?
What they're saying is not true.
How is that possible?
Like, I'm sitting here. It's not true. It's not possible. You wouldn't even give me 2 minutes to talk to you, but it's not possible. What they are saying is not true.
How in the hell did I hear it and see it?
I heard what you heard. It's not true. I heard what you heard, and I saw what you saw. Everything they showed you, they showed me.
And how is it not? How are you telling me that?
I
It's
am
not
giving you my word that it's not true.
What do you? Dad, I couldn't help you if I wanted to.
Like, please, I need an attorney. Can you please help me? It's not true.
Your brother was here, and I spoke to him, and he's going to go talk to your mom. I called them for you already, right? So everybody knows where you're at. I took care of it.
I know that. I need your help, okay? This is not true.
I heard Dalia, too. Look, how do you explain what I saw and heard?
Like, I am limited on my phone call. You know more than anybody. It's not true. Just give me time so I can talk to you.
What did it say? I saw it. I heard it.
I saw what you saw, and I heard what you heard.
Okay, what the f***? You said you wanted to have me killed. I heard that.
That's not true. That is not
How is
true.
it not true?
How can you believe that?
I heard your voice.
How can you believe it?
That isn't the point. I heard you say it.
It's not. I heard what you heard, and it's not.
What did I hear then? I heard you say.
I heard the tape. Okay, I heard the tape, and I saw pictures, and I saw the whole 9 yards. I saw all of it.
So why would you meet a black guy in a parking lot? Explain that.